It is Monday. It's the 13th of January. I'm Monita Rajpal. This is CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. Our top stories today. We begin this hour in Thailand, where tens of thousands of anti-government protesters are trying to shut down the capital and force the prime minister out of office. They want to replace Yingluck Shinawatra with an unelected People's Council that would push through electoral and political reforms. She is inviting protest leaders to a meeting on Wednesday to discuss whether elections set for February 2nd should be postponed. Well, let's show you where these protests are actually taking place. The demonstrators are filling major intersections in Bangkok, including this upscale shopping district. The main rally site is nearby. Other affected areas are also popular tourist destinations like Lumpini Park. Protesters plan to march to government offices and cut off water and electricity to prevent employees from working. Well, government supporters are also making their voices heard. Simon Mosen has more now. She joins us now on the phone. And Simon, give us an idea of how things have been shaping up all day.
Monita, I can just about hear you now, just to give you a picture of what's happening here.
On the phone for us from Bangkok. Well, Simon mentioned the tourists there in Bangkok, and now, as we're saying, the protests threaten to disrupt the city for weeks. If you have an upcoming trip to the Thai capital, you can always find updated information for you on our website. You can also, the body of Israel's former Prime Minister Ariel Sharon is on its way to his family home, where he will be buried in just about a half an hour from now. 85-year-old Sharon died on Saturday after spending the past 8 years of his life in a coma. Mr. Sharon's actions in his military and political life meant he was largely respected in Israel, but unpopular in the Arab world. CNN's senior international correspondent Ben Wiedemann joins us now live from Jerusalem. And Ben, when we were hearing from the leaders there in Israel and of course other parts of the world that had come there to pay their respects to Mr. Sharon, some very strong words were used to describe him as they called him a legend, especially a military legend, I should say, but also someone who was just a stalwart when it came to Israeli politics.
Yes, certainly. We heard Israeli President Shimon Peres, the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
Let's bring you up to date on some of the other stories that we're following here at CNN News Center. The partner of French President François Hollande could leave a Paris hospital as early as today. Valérie Trierweiler entered the hospital Friday after allegations surfaced that Mr. Hollande had been having an affair. That's according to a key member of her staff. She and Mr. Hollande live together, but they are not married. Iran has agreed to begin eliminating some of its stockpile of enriched uranium starting next Monday. It's a key part of a 6-month interim agreement reached between Tehran and world powers back in November. In exchange, some international sanctions against Iran will be eased. Negotiators hope the interim deal will pave the way for a permanent agreement. The Xinhua news agency says investigators have ruled out arson as the cause of a devastating weekend fire in Shangri-La. The worst fire in the history of the 1,300-year-old Tibetan town destroyed nearly 300 homes. Some residents complained that firefighters were slow to respond, but no casualties were reported. There has been a big upset at the Australian Open. 7-time Grand Slam champion Venus Williams has been sent packing in Melbourne. A series of unforced errors and failure to convert crucial break points cost her, and Russia's Ekaterina Makarova came out on top. You are watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. You are watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. I'm Monita Rajpal. At least 22 people died across Iraq on Sunday in shootings and bombings. More than 80 people were wounded in the attacks. Among the targets, army recruits at a bus station in central Baghdad and the Abu Ghraib army base west of the capital. Tensions have been rising since violence erupted in Anbar province last month. CNN's Michael Holmes is reporting from inside Baghdad. He joins us now live with more on that. Michael?
Yeah, Monita, I can bring you up to date. The UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon...
Michael, thank you. Michael Holmes there live for us from Baghdad. Well, Michael mentioned there Syria being on the agenda of discussions between Ban Ki-moon and Mr. al-Maliki. Let's give you an update now on what is actually happening in the effort to end the bloodshed in Syria. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry met with his Russian counterpart, Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. United Nations Humanitarian Affairs Chief is sounding the alarm on Syria. Valerie Amos was in the Syrian capital Damascus over the weekend, and she told CNN there are reports that millions of Syrian civilians face starvation because their towns and villages have been cut off by the fighting. Amos is urging the international community to do more to help the Syrian people. She says time is running out. You are watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. Watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. It was an emotional return for Dennis Rodman, who arrived in China after a controversial visit to North Korea. CNN's Carl Penhall was at the airport in Beijing.
Basketball's bad boy Dennis Rodman is back from North Korea, back to face the music.
We're certainly feeling cooler temperatures here in Hong Kong, and of course the rest of South Asia certainly feeling a bit of a cool down as well. Mari Ramos is at the World Weather Center with more on that. Hi, Mari.
Hello, Monita. Definitely the time of year where we're going to see those cooler temperatures, of course. But look at some of these rainfall totals, Monita. Almost half a meter of rain in some of those areas in the southern Philippines, and unfortunately, there's more to come. Back to you.
All right. Mari, thank you very much. Sure. A red carpet, a golden trophy, and a black chapter of American history. 12 Years a Slave won Best Motion Picture Drama at the Golden Globe Awards in Los Angeles. Nichelle Turner is there. She joins us now live. And Nichelle, there are so many moments as I was watching it that I really enjoyed, but I'll leave it up to you to summarize it all for us.
Well, there was a lot, and we'd be here for a while if we summarized all the good moments from last night. First of all, one of the big, really...
Excellent. I bet you that the after parties is probably still happening right now, so we appreciate you getting up, or staying up, I should say, super early for us. Thank you so much for that. Nichelle Turner there, live for us from L.A. And you're watching CNN News Center. I'm Monita Rajpal at CNN Hong Kong. A special edition of Newsroom with Max Foster is next.